video. Am I potentially wearing the same dark shirt that I wore in my last video? Perhaps I am. You got an issue with that? We're gonna fight. I hope that you are doing so well tonight. And instead of me doing some like really long intro, I just kind of want to introduce the topic of today's session. Basically, yo, I know we all about like the TikTok these days, but let me introduce you to your public library system. Y'all, have you tried it out? It's like an infinite amount of books that you have at your disposal for free. I don't know what you think. I think that shit's cool. And I'm 22 years old, just realizing that I got a public library that I could just rent out cool books to. And you already know, if you are an OG of the channel, you know I like pretty words on pretty paper. So I went immediately to the poetry section, and I immediately found this book. It's called The Sun and Her Flowers by an author, and I may mispronounce her last name here. It's Rupi Kaur. It's Kaur, Rupi Kaur. And I just like the artwork of this book. It's really, really simple. And if I were to turn you to the back of this book, one of the first things that it says is, "This is the recipe of life, said by my mother as she held me in her arms as I wept. Think of those flowers you plant in the garden each year. They will teach you that people too must wilt, fall, root, and rise in order to bloom." I'm gonna read that to you one more time. "This is the recipe of life," said my mother as she held me in her arms as I wept. "Think of those flowers you plant in the garden each year. They will teach you that people too must root and rise in order to bloom again." By Rupi Kaur. I'm gonna say Kaur for now again. So if you reading words like that on the back of the book, I'm asking you, what is the content of this actual book, right? I can't show you like the exact cover of it right now, simply because it has like a lot of location and like privacy information. You would literally know exactly where I live if I showed you the cover of this book. It's got some library information. I don't really want to feel like damaging property by peeling off any sort of stickers. I know y'all, despite the earrings, I'm not a bad boy. I just like reading books, y'all. In any case, I look more into the chapter or the contents of this book, and it's actually broken up into 5 sections. The first one is called wilting. The second one is called falling. The third one is called rooting. The fourth one is called rising. And the fifth one is called blooming. And it just tied in so well together to that back verse that we saw. And I just everything about this just screams like so beautiful to me. And something tells me that it's not all going to be necessarily the most positive affirmation type of book. But I'm very comfortable with non-happy feelings. I'm not sure how you feel about them, but I personally feel very comfortable in them. And so I would like to share some of these. I'm kind of picking these out by random order, so if they're just like not my type or something like that, that's completely fine. But just the opportunity for me and you to chat and to talk and to just read you to sleep, hopefully, would be really, really nice. And so with that being said, I hope you are doing so wonderful today. I hope that no one is giving you stress. I hope that you are not giving yourself any stress yourself. Remember that the goal in life is only to be kind to yourself and to respect your own boundaries, and know that there are times where you're supposed to push yourself and times where you're gonna have to respect yourself. And not every single person, including myself, knows when those times are. But at the end of the day, the person who is deciding those things, the person who has the power in their own hands is you. And in this world, there are no right and there are no wrongs. Just remember that, okay? Alright, let me go ahead and just read a couple passages to you. Please note that there are no titles to some of these poems. So this one is an unknown poem, okay? Okay. I spend days in bed, debilitated by loss. I attempt to cry you back, but the water is done, and still you have not returned. I pinch my belly till it bleeds, have lost count of the days. Sun becomes moon, and moon becomes sun, and I become ghost. A dozen different thoughts tear through me every second. You must be on your way. Perhaps it's best if you're not. I am okay. No, I am angry. Yes, I hate you. Maybe I can't move on. I will. I forgive you. I want to rip my hair out over and over again till my mind exhausts itself into a silence. So remember that this book is being broken up into 5 chapters, and the first one I believe was called Wilting. I imagine this person just got through a breakup. They're just describing the first thoughts that go out through their brain, and if y'all have ever gone through a breakup, you can relate to this. But again, just beautiful words, just the way this person expresses themselves, I just find to be really, really amazing. I'm gonna read another one, okay? Rise, said the moon, and the new day came. The show must go on, said the sun. Life does not stop for anybody. It drags you by the legs, whether you want to move forward or not. That is the gift. Life will force you to forget how you long for them. Your skin will shed till there's not a single part of you left they've touched. Your eyes, finally just your eyes, not the eyes which held them. You will make it to the end of what is only the beginning. Go on, open the door to the rest of it. Wow, that is beautiful. That is amazing. Can I read that one more time with you? Wow. Rise. Said the moon, and the new day came. The show must go on, said the sun. Life does not stop for anybody. It drags you by the legs whether you want to move forward or not. That is the gift. Life will force you to forget how you long for them. Your skin will shed till there is not a single part of you left they've touched. Wow. Your eyes, finally just your eyes, not the eyes which held them. You will make it to the end of what is only the beginning. Go on, open the door to the rest of it. And it's signed by time. How amazing is that? It really strikes a nerve with me because when I was really younger and I just did not have a lot of hope when it came to the word life and specifically my personal life, it was sort of an epiphany back in the day, just realizing that life will move on no matter how I feel. And this really is only the end of something but the beginning of something new, and the person who's in charge of all of that is really myself. And I feel like this just embodies that whole message in such a more beautiful way than I could have ever encompassed it in my own personal words. What did you think about this one? That is beautiful. That is amazing. Really kind of got me choked up a little bit, not gonna lie. Okay. I think we should find, one more. Usually I go by the rules of 3. It would feel weird to do only one, so we'll do rules of 3 at this point. Let me find something. This one says the art of growing, and I find it really beautiful, but it says some explicit words, and you know, I'm a family-friendly YouTuber, y'all. I never cursed in my entire life. I'm not you're a bad boy, you're a bad boy, you're a bad girl. Sorry, go to sleep. And if I accidentally woke you up by telling you to go to sleep, I apologize. Actually, in this entire book, I'm looking for something very specific. It was something called, like the immigrant family or something like that. And, I was only able to read a few words of this chapter, but I really wanted the chance to just kind of see it again. It seemed really nice, but the only problem is I don't know. Oh, I found it. So, on the left page right now, I'm seeing either the beginning or the end of a certain poem, and it's just 2 lines, and it says, "My mother sacrificed her dreams so I could dream," and then it kind of has like a drawing of her mother, which is really sweet. So, the title, this one actually has a title, so you know it's crazy like that. It's called Broken English. I think about the way my father pulled the family out of poverty without knowing what a vowel was, and my mother raised 4 children without being able to construct a perfect sentence in English. A discombobulated couple who landed in the new world with hopes that left the bitter taste of rejection in their mouths. No family, no friends, just a man and wife. 2 university degrees that meant nothing, 1 mother tongue that was broken now, 1 swollen belly with a baby inside, a father worrying about jobs and rent. No matter what, this baby was coming, and they thought to themselves for a split second, was it worth it to put all of our money into the dream of a country that is swallowing us whole? Papa looks at his woman's eyes and sees loneliness living where the iris was. Wants to give her a home in a country that looks at her with the word visitor wrapped around its tongue. On their wedding day, she left an entire village to be his wife. Now she left an entire country to be a warrior. And when the winter came, they had nothing but the heat of their own bodies to keep the coldness out. Like 2 brackets, they faced one another to hold the dearest parts of them, their children, close. They turned a suitcase full of clothes into a life and regular paychecks to make sure the children of immigrants wouldn't hate them for being the children of immigrants. That's beautiful. They worked too hard. You can tell by their hands, their eyes are begging for sleep, but our mouths are begging to be fed. And that is the most artistic thing I have ever seen. It is poetry to these ears. They have never heard what passion sounds like, and my mouth is full of likes and ums when I look at their masterpiece, because there are no words in the English language that can articulate that kind of beauty. I can't compact their existence into 26 letters and call it a description. I tried once, but the adjectives needed to describe them don't even exist. So instead I ended up with pages and pages full of words, followed by columns and more commas, only to realize that some things in the world are so infinite they could never use a full stop. Wow. So how dare you mock your mother when she opens her mouth and broken English spills out? Don't be ashamed of the fact that she splits through countries to be here, so you wouldn't have to cross a shoreline. Her accent is thick like honey. Hold it with your life. It's the only thing she has left of home. Wow. Don't you stop on that richness. Instead, hang it up on the walls of museums next to Dali and Van Gogh. Her life is brilliant and tragic. Kiss the side of her tender cheek. She already knows what it feels like to have an entire nation laugh when she speaks. She is more than our pronunciation and language. She might be able to paint pictures and write stories, but she made an entire world for herself. How is that for art? Do I have to say anything more about this book, y'all? I am not an influencer, but if I had to influence for 1 second of my life, The Sun in Her Flowers by Rupi, Kaur, Kaur. Pick it up, read it. That was beautiful. That was so beautiful. What amazing perspective. Such amazing perspective. And I also think about that from my perspective because I grew up around a lot of Italians. I think there were like 2 Asian kids in like my entire class. And I grew up with like a lot of shame. It was like before BTS, y'all. So like before like the whole craze came there. But yeah, I grew up very like ashamed of my culture, and that's something I just, so regret. Obviously, I was a child who can really hate a child for his beliefs. Um, there is simply an extension of what the culture around him was like and how they saw it, and who doesn't want to be accepted as a kid. But I think that is such a rich perspective that Rupi provides in that last one, and it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Culture and expression is such a gift, and it's one of the most beautiful things in this world, and that's why I just so highly hope that you are expressing yourself to whatever extent you feel most comfortable in your day-to-day life. Not saying that you have to go full-blown wild out here in the streets of America or wherever you are, but to whatever extent, I hope that you're feeling more comfortable and more secure in your actions. I know that is not the steady line of progress. It wavers, and I completely understand that. But I absolutely see you taking step after step in what you see right now as the best direction. I hate to sound like a narcissist, but stop self-sacrificing for real. Stop. You're not going to self-sacrifice anymore. You don't always have to be the person who has to sacrifice in order for other people to win. Look out for yourself a little bit more. Respect yourself a little bit more. I will be very upset. Really upset to see you not do that for yourself, to not see the beauty that is you, to not see the beauty of your experiences, to see, or just to see everything and then to say it to yourself, no, not important enough for me to respect. Nope. What you are is beautiful. What you have experienced is beautiful. Who you are going to become is beautiful. The steps that you are taking in order to be a better person in this crazy world is beautiful. And I am so proud of you, okay? I hope you really enjoy this reading. I had a really good time doing it myself. So I hope you have a wonderful night. And I hope to see you another day.